I got a phone call today unexpectedly from someone that knows Lieutenant Colonel Gregg, and I had to confirm with Lieutenant Colonel Gregg about this message before I brought it forward because it was so wild. This is very interesting. This is about underwater bases deep in the ocean, and I'm sure that the enemy would love to impede this message. Whistleblower testimony confirms roughly 5 miles beneath the Atlantic Ocean in an area called the Milwaukee Depth, which is at the southwest corner of the Bermuda Triangle. Through a black column of water lies a city no satellite has ever captured. Below in these depths, in this deep black ocean trench, you find yourself approaching an abyss citadel called the Atlantis Poseidon Base, or Site Z, one of several hidden in the ocean depths. This one is located under the Bermuda Triangle, where there are others said to be located in the Philippine Trench, in the Arctic, 3 in the Pacific, and 1 massive at the bottom of the Antarctic Sea. Each base is not simply a military outpost, but a self-contained world and ecosystem of hybrid temples, laboratories, fortresses. Built into the walls of ancient caverns left from the pre-flood world, these cities use technology so advanced it blurs the line between science and sorcery. So, the one specific location I am speaking on is in the Milwaukee Depth. It's about 5 miles down. These are similar to other deep water trenches like Challenger Deep. These are scars left over from the Great Flood. Built into the walls of these depths, there are ancient caverns that were left from this pre-flood world. And the technology they are using in these cities, some of it I've never heard of before. Some of it I have, but it had my jaw dropped. The exterior of this specific abyssal base looks like a mountain turned inside out. This is going to get very specific, as this gentleman worked inside of this place. I mean, can you imagine, folks? Inside are gigantic hexagonal panels of black and gold alloy, and it forms a pressure shell able to withstand tens of thousands of pounds of water per square inch. The panels shimmer faintly because they are not merely walls but living conduits, grown from an ancient substance called archillium, recreated in CERN's gold transmutation process. Embedded into these panels are countless photonic veins that channel bioluminescent energy harvested from engineered plankton fields on the bottom of the ocean. The result is glowing honeycomb structures, visible only under certain frequencies, as the base, seen with the naked eye, is cloaked in a living camouflage. It requires special frequency goggles to make out these structures. Imagine that. If one was to approach closer and able to see this, there would be enormous docking spires protruding like stalagmites. These are not ordinary submarines, but what you would call USOs, unidentified submerged objects. Craft built on a technology called gravity nullification principles technology provided by Nazi Germany that received it from fallen angels in the early 1920s. Each craft is a shapeshifter. Its default shape is like a manta ray, able to slip between water and air without turbulence. Inside these bases are massive spiral elevators that move genetic specimens, exotic materials, and hybrid personnel between different strata layers. The entire facility is a vertical city. At the top, there is hydrothermal intakes that draw in superheated water to power quantum turbines. Mid-level houses and laboratories where hybridization and frequency research occurs. Lower levels descend into sealed vaults holding artifacts and beings that have been suspended in animation prior to the flood. Inside the main chambers, they have what are called biospheres. Enormous spherical habitats. You're talking on the scale of 4 to 5 miles wide, these spherical habitats, where air and water intermingle in a controlled, monitored ecosystem. Here, scientists, different genetic hybrids, Nephilim live together in an environment mimicking the pre-flood climate. Oxygen-rich, golden and light. Towering crystalline pillars rise like coral forests, pulsing with information. These pillars are not decorative. They are quantum-infused data banks storing millennia of genetic records and forbidden knowledge. You will find that there are no keyboards or screens to interact, as everyone that works down there, the scientists, the hybrids, interact with these pillars telepathically, transferring data from their mind directly through these crystal Nephilim blood-saturated control chips. This is the true cloud, a living biological library built by the Watchers. At the heart of each base, this gentleman calls it the well, a shaft descending into the seafloor, and it acts as a natural resonator, mimicking something that Nikola Tesla built in his water tower. And around this well are 9 centrifugic rings of machinery resembling both a collider and an altar. When activated, these rings create a standing wave that harmonizes the cosmic events. This produces Schumann spikes. It interacts with CERN's collisions that operate on land and anything coming through the cosmos. It sends beacons and transmission pulses. This well is both a portal and a power source. It allows the base to phase parts of itself, simply making them appear out of normal space-time, hiding from detection and even physical destruction, as it is like a trans-dimensional 3D printer where it can literally think things into existence. Think about that. The telepathic processing farm, if I understood him correctly, it works trans-dimensionally, can make matter out of nothing, brought in from a different dimension. Other than it being just a giant trans-dimensional 3D printer, it's also a portal between dimensions. The personnel of these citadels are not just humans in diving suits, but hybrid beings designed for the deep. Their skin glows faintly. Their eyes see in the dark. Their lungs extract oxygen directly from water. And their nervous systems are tuned to the frequency of the well. The habitat itself and the genetic offsprings of this facility, they are symbiotic. They are living tools that operate together, bred to carry out genetic harvesting, deep sea mining, dimensional research. There are prototypes of this post-human race living down there that will emerge to the surface later and be offered as tools of salvation. The base also houses cybernetic interfaces where quantum AI systems interact with these hybrids, forging a living image of the beast described in prophecy. Not silicone alone, not flesh alone, but an amalgam of both. Have we spoke on these international floating supercomputers that look like giant barges that sit on the surface of the ocean and don't have to recognize stateside law? They are their own independent nation. Last that I knew, there was 7 of them, and the last one released in January 2024 was quantum-based. Last year I did a teaching on this, talking about the image of the beast. Back then, I thought the floating vessel, the ship, which was about 400 feet square, was the image of the beast itself. I was wrong. This was simply an operating node that is an interface between the deep citadels. Functionally, these abyssal bases operate as convergent hubs. They harvest rare minerals from deep ocean vents, cultivate genetically modified organisms for both food and bioweapons, experiment with new scalar weapons, frequency weapons that can trigger tectonic events, and act as staging grounds for USOs that appear as quote-quote aliens or drones on the surface. These things are also spiritual strongholds, where ritual and research blend. At timed intervals aligned with celestial objects, the wells open, releasing surges of energy and even entities into our dimension. These events manifest on the surface as unexplained booms, mass ocean die-off, and sudden weather anomalies. Architecturally, these bases are laid out like inverted temples. At the outermost ring are vast docking bays, lit by eerily blue light where fleets of mantacraft rest. The next ring holds laboratories, hydroponic vaults, cloning vaults, vats filled with golden fluid, the living gold that carries the essence of the hybrids. The innermost sanctum is the throne room carved from living crystal where the highest ranking Nephilims commune with Lucifer. From my understanding, Lucifer's throne room is at the base, on the bottom, there on the edge of the Bermuda Triangle. On the ceiling above the throne glows a shifting map of the heavens, showing the timing of cosmic alignments, events, craft. This map pulses in rhythm with Three-Eye Atlas's orbit, waiting for the moment when its energy can be harnessed to open the final seal. That right there, we see how these bases integrate with each other globally, because beneath the ocean floor runs a maze of maglev tunnels encased in pressure-resistant shells. They connect all the underground water bases, the Bermuda Triangle, Antarctica, Pacific trenches, to other hidden bases across the world. They go to S4, Area 51, one of 300 bases just on the North American continent. Cargo and personnel move through these tunnels at near hypersonic speeds in vacuum pods. These systems mimic the ocean ley lines on land, but in three-dimensional undersea grids. Each node amplifies the others, forming a planetary network designed to awaken when the said restrainer is lifted. The reality is these abyssal citadels are not only hiding but preparing. They are building what they call alternative arcs, counterfeit kingdoms beneath the water, waiting for the day when the sixth seal is opened and the earth shakes. And when that day comes, the sea will literally give up its dead and its hybrids. Spheres will descend like crowns over each base in the waters. CERN, with its living gold infusements, will continue to infuse hybrids with incorruptible bodies. Different objects in the second heaven that operate in outer space will energize the different wells. And whenever it is that restrainer is removed, it will not only be spiritual, but it will be technological.